Welcome back to Football Talk with Xavier. My name's Xavier, and in this video, we're going to be breaking down one of the most fascinating divisions in the NFL, the NFC East. Oh, and before we get started, make sure to subscribe because I'm going to be doing this for every division in the entire NFL, and you don't want to miss it. Now, I personally think the NFC East is going to shock a lot of people this season. I think the NFC East is either the best or the second best division in football. I think right now I have to give it to the NFC North, but by the end of the season, it's ultimately going to land on the NFC East. And that's because I actually think that one of the teams that's predicted to do the worst in this division is going to end up making the playoffs this season, and you'll find that out by the end of these rankings. For our number 4 overall team in this division, this is going to surprise a few people, but I have the Dallas Cowboys. I personally believe that the Cowboys aren't going to be very good this season because they won't pay Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is the heart and soul of that defense, and if you don't pay him, you don't have much of a defense. On top of that, you don't have very many pass rushers outside of him. Your linebacking core is mediocre at best, and your cornerbacks are probably the brightest part of your team, but even they aren't a top 3 unit in the league or anything like that. Now, on the other hand, I do think you're probably going to have a top 3 offense in the NFL this season. You went out and got George Pickens, and he and CeeDee Lamb pair up perfectly together. George Pickens turns 50-50 balls into a 90-10, so much so that you have to always have a deep safety on his side of the field. And then CeeDee Lamb, well, he's impossible to guard underneath in man or zone coverage unless you double team him. The only problem with that, you only have so many defenders on the field, so you have to choose which one to pick. Or like some people would say, you have to pick your poison. Which wide receiver are you going to let beat you in each and every game? That's why I think if both of them can stay healthy and Dak Prescott can stay healthy, he might just throw for 5,000 yards. But I think similar to the Bengals last season, they're not going to be able to stop anybody, and it doesn't matter how many yards you throw for and how good your offense is if your defense can't get a stop. Because ultimately, defense wins championships. Defense wins football games, not high-powered offenses. That moves me on to my number 3 team, and this is going to shock everybody. I have the Washington Commanders. I believe that the Washington Commanders are going to have a slight bit of regression this season because, one, they haven't paid Terry McLaurin yet. He hasn't worked with the team or Jaden Daniels at all, and because of that, when you look around their team, they don't have many other weapons. Deebo Samuel is mediocre at best now at this point in his career. He looks heavy and out of shape in training camp and every time we've seen him in the media recently. And that leads me to believe that they're not going to be very good this season if Terry isn't on the field each and every game. Now, do I think they're going to pay him? Yes. I just think he's going to be coming in so late after doing nothing that he might be slow to start the season in comparison to what he looked like last year. And then you also have this idea that Jaden Daniels is going to his second season. While he may look better, teams in the NFL are going to start catching on a little bit to how to defend him the same way they've done with Lamar Jackson, to where Lamar had to evolve his game more and more as time has gone on. And I don't think this is something that's going to hold Jaden back too much. I think it's just going to result in them losing more football games this season because I don't think their defense is going to be incredible. Bobby Wagner keeps avoiding father time, as some people would say, but even he is going to start regressing at some point throughout his NFL career. And outside of him, that defense doesn't have very many stars on it. As good as Dan Quinn is, you can only do so much with limited firepower on the defensive side of the ball. The team you've probably expected me to talk about by now, the New York Giants. I've made plenty of New York Giants content on this channel so far because I truly believe they're the team that's being slept on the absolute most in the NFL this season. I believe the Giants are going to somehow win 10 or 11 games and make it to playoffs. The crazy part? The media and betting sites have them only predicted to win 5.5 games, being the 3rd worst team in the entire NFL. Now, why do I not believe that? They have the best pass rush in football. Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence make up the best pass rushing unit in the entire NFL. So if they can take care of their jobs, that's going to be a top 5 defense in the NFL. And while the cornerback position does look a little vulnerable so far, I don't think it would take much for them to go out and get a corner either through trade or free agency. I also think that Russell Wilson's going to keep you in football games and win football games for you in those tight moments. A lot of people have already written Russell Wilson's career off, but I personally don't think it's over. He still has the same arm talent he did in his prime. And while he may be slower, if this offensive line continues to play how they have so far in the preseason, then I don't think it would take much for Russell Wilson to be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL this season especially coming off a Pro Bowl year with the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. And on top of that, he's playing with the best receiver he's ever played with in his career in Malik Neighbors. And I think Tyrone Tracy's really good in that backfield, on top of all the other weapons that they have on that offense. Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt, all of those type of guys. And that leads me to the team that's winning this division. There's not much to say about them, but it's the Philadelphia Eagles. They're coming off a Super Bowl win. Even though no team's won this division back-to-back years in quite some time, they have a top 3 roster in the NFL. They have Vic Fangio, who's the best defensive coordinator in the NFL. They have an incredible running back who's 1A, 1B with Jahmyr Gibbs and Saquon Barkley, coming off an almost 2,000-yard rushing season last year. So I really don't think there's too much to say about the Eagles. They're going to be great, and I think because of that, they're going to win this division and ultimately be the best team in the NFC. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think I got right and what you think I got wrong, and we can come back to these comments at the end of the season and see who got it right. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, we're going to be doing every division in the entire NFL, so you want to make sure you're able to see each and every one of them. See you.